was that?
Welcome to the Grizzled Geek Podcast, episode 58. I never remember what we're on. I'm Mike.
I'm Kirsten.
I'm Doug.
And we're nerds from the old school with almost enough credits to graduate. We're
How long have you been sitting on that one?
What now?
How long have you been sitting on that one?
I've been sitting on that one for a while. I think I have this whole list that I put together like a year ago.
Nice.
Welcome, everybody. All you listeners out there on a Friday night. It is, Friday night in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where we're at. We're excited because it's October now, which technically means it's supposed to cool down, right? But then
also means Halloween and my birthday and everything.
Yeah, that's right. Man, you're almost
virtual party.
I know. You're almost an adult, Kirsten. What's that gonna be like?
Almost an adult. What even is that? I don't know what being an adult is. Will I ever grow up? Probably never.
Yeah, true. I don't know what being an adult means either. I'm like, I'm here. I mean, technically, my son's an adult too, but look at that. So we really can't judge.
I feel like when you're a nerd, it's hard to reach what society expects of an adult, and I'm cool with that,
Right. True. So like, you're supposed to have your shit together by 30. Well, kinda did. Yeah, Matt. I was like, started stealing Matt's intro, but nope. Decided to stick with ours, guys. Man, I want to take a moment here to thank all of our new listeners out there in the podcast world. Every single episode is being downloaded more than the last, which is the first time that's been happening since around the 20s.
Welcome!
That's right. So welcome, everybody, all you new listeners out there. If you want to check us out, see what we look like, get some of the sight gags you're missing on this thing, you can check us out at youtube.com/thegrizzledgeek, where you can check out our podcast live or archived, or check out any of our reaction videos or any of our other stuff. Or if you're into gaming, well, plug this. Well, I don't plug this while I'm at it, because apparently it's been getting more traffic lately as well. The Grizzled War Master on YouTube has a lot of our gaming videos. So, which
I'll start putting more of those.
Yeah, I've got two Grizzled War Masters or Grizzled Game Masters in the waiting to put out. I just want to get a few more under my belt before I start releasing those again.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's what we've been up to, guys. What have you guys been up to? Kirsten, anything exciting?
Let's see, anything exciting? We've been binging Vikings. Oh, I started Mr. Robot. Nice. Boy, is that a show of sorts. And yeah, that's about it on my end. I haven't really had time for games, so.
What about you, Doug?
I started playing SWTOR again, so I've got just made my second character today. I'm playing on the European server because I have no characters there, so I have no legacy. So it's kind of going back old school, like when the game began. I don't have any of the perks that come with having characters all the way, to end game or anything like that. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Going through all the storylines again, going, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of people. You should start filming that. Film your.
I tried to film the first, like my starting character on my starting planet, and then realized when I finished that for some reason the NVIDIA in-game record didn't work.
Yeah.
For some, it failed. It was weird because I accidentally recorded one session for 20 hours because I forgot to stop it. But then that was just like making my character or something. It wasn't actually playing. Then when I got back in and tried to record playing, it wouldn't record at all. So it was very weird. So.
Oh man.
Yeah. Now that I've started my second one, I'll try and figure out what's going on to kind of do a playthrough.
Well, if you get it working, man, I'm telling you, there's a lot of people filming their jumping into it for the first time. Maybe you start reviving some of your old how-to tutorial videos.
Yeah,
for all the
those
new
were fun.
players in that. I think I just found out recently why it's got a surge in population. Just recently became available on Steam.
Yeah.
So there's been a big surge in people playing. So Star Wars: The Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic, and
No, Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Star Wars: The Old
Knights
Republic.
is Knights of the Old Republic's the old game. Yeah.
The old game. All right, I've been doing nothing, so that's it for my weekly update.
Work.
Work, yeah, work pretty much. Not done much of anything else. So, exciting stuff. But we're here to goo about nerd stuff on the internet. So, why don't we jump into that?
Let's do it.
Excited about this? All right. So, first off, we'll start off with a Disney Plus update. There's been some stuff just came out this week. For the big one is that they've cast Miss Marvel finally. Newcomer Iman Vellani. So she's going to be the new Miss Marvel in the TV series. So she didn't even have an IMDb page until Wednesday. And then Miss Marvel's her only credit on there. So she must have impressed him, right? Because she didn't really do anything before that. But that is awesome. If you get pictures of her, she looks like Kamala Khan. So I'm like,
that's a
very cool,
pretty good likeness.
Yeah, but so once she gets announced, right, everybody starts trying to like dig up like what has she done before? What is she?
Right.
So they start going through all her past stuff, and she not much, but she was a bit of a film critic before. In fact, fans have dug up her review on an old Letterboxd account of her review of Captain Marvel, where she gave it a scathing 2-star review. So the new Miss Marvel was not a fan of the old Captain Marvel. So
funny.
Just throwing that out there. Kind of makes me like her more. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about Miss Marvel. What about you guys?
I don't have a lot of background in the character, but it's cool. She's from what I know of the character, she's a pretty cool addition. Mm-hmm. And if that kind of leads to a Young Avengers kind of thing, I'm all for it.
That would be cool.
You think they're gonna make her
an Inhuman?
Inhuman, yeah. Sorry.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Although, it'd be easy to pivot and make her a mutant because in the comics, she, or at least initially, had little real connection to the other Inhumans, or at least to the royal family.
Yeah, but then it became a big thing, with the whole Terrigen Mist.
Yeah.
Being.
So there's like 2 different paths you could follow with her.
Yeah.
I hope they do the Inhuman one. Because I think
too.
they need to do Inhumans correct in this.
Yeah, correctly. They need to do it correct. They need to do it at all, Doug, because they haven't. There hasn't been any live action Inhuman stuff. Yeah. What about you, Kirsten? You know anything about the character at all, or?
I know very little about the character. I'll probably watch it just because it's a Marvel movie, so
yeah,
I'll probably take a look at it.
Yeah, she's a cool character, and she's like a main part of the new Avengers game. If any of you guys are playing that.
Nope.
Oh, it's a mobile game, right?
No, it's a major cross-platform game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
No, I've seen commercials for it, but I haven't played it.
Yeah. All right. Well, it looks like Falcon and the Winter Soldier might be close to being wrapping its production finally. I know Emily Van Camp just recently mentioned that she is done with her part of production. She wrapped on her filming for it. So, and she's a major player, supposed to be in this season. So that's good news. I don't know when it's going to come out after that because obviously they changed things around. WandaVision is going to be our first TV Disney Plus show, and then But I'm excited about Falcon and the Winter Soldier is up there. I like WandaVision too. I'm excited about both those. Those are probably the 2 main ones that are coming out first.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I have a feeling that Falcon and the Winter Soldier have a lot of stuff that they're going to tease in Black Widow movie, right? And that one's being pushed off till May. So I have a feeling Falcon and the Winter Soldier is probably not coming out till the summertime, right? Because AIM is going to be in the Black Widow movie, and apparently they're going to play a part in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Marvel movies are very structured, right? So they coincide with these series. I mean, it's the first time they're actually doing that. But, so they have a certain way they reveal stuff, right? So, Black Widow should have come out first. So, all the stuff that it's about to, all the stuff that's set to reveal, opens the door for other stuff in Winter Soldier and stuff like that. So, I know they had to make some changes in WandaVision to not give away stuff that hasn't come out yet. So,
yeah,
curious. We'll see what happens there. We also got a trailer for Marvel 616 docuseries on Disney Plus. Have you checked that out?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I watched the trailer. It looks cool.
Yeah.
And the Disney Plus docuseries are all very cool. So
yeah, I've not seen a docuseries on Disney Plus I hadn't liked. So, and this one's all about Marvel. So 616, for those of you who don't know, is the designation of the actual Marvel Comics world. As you know, Marvel Universe has a whole bunch of different multiverses, and they're all numbered. Mm-hmm. So even the television series has its own number in that universe. So, but the 616 is the OG Marvel Universe, the main one. And yeah, I agree, Matt. It looks good. The series looks good. It's at first I was like, I first heard about it, I'm like, what is this gonna be? A bunch of cosplayers and whatever. But no, it goes deep into creators, comics creators, cosplaying is part of it, but there's a whole fan base, right? Mm-hmm. And like Doug says, the Disney Plus docuseries have been pretty amazing, so I'm excited about it. But the one I had the least excitement for originally is now starting to be starting to build excitement, and that's Hawkeye. The Hawkeye series, I like the Hawkeye, and it's supposed to be based on his solo series, right? Which I really like that graphic novel. That's awesome. So here's a whole bunch of stuff that dropped, and these are all, right now, they're all rumors. None of this has been confirmed yet, but these have been rumors that are coming from the same people that confirmed She-Hulk movie before it was announced. And, they announced they had already cast Kamala Khan last week before they announced it this week. So these guys have a good track record, so a lot of this stuff here. But here we go. Jump into this. Some of those stuff here is Madame Mask is said to make an appearance in it, which, for those of you who don't know, Madame Mask is she's an Iron Man villain, isn't she, Doug?
I don't know.
I think she is.
I don't know what her origin is. They move around so much.
I know she wears a gold mask. She's got dark hair and gold mask, and I've read about her. I read her in comics, but it wasn't like a character that I'm really super familiar with. It's always kind of like I never collected Iron Man back in the day, and she was an Iron. I believe she was. Yeah. No, Matt, this is not from We Got This Covered. I don't. We don't report We Got This Covered unless somebody else credible reports it. So, another character that's supposed to be in this is Echo, who's a deaf character from. She's a Daredevil side character, right? Mm-hmm. So she's going to be in the series as well, according to this. The big one is that Mockingbird will play a major role in the series. Now, Mockingbird, for those who don't know about the comics, it was actually Clint Barton's wife in the comics, right? But in this one, obviously, that's not going to happen. He's married, he's got a family and the whole bit, so she's probably not going to be a love interest, but just to see them together on screen will be exciting. The problem is, and I don't know quite how I feel about this, is that they're going to recast her, because she was played by Adriana Palicki from in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So she was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for 2 seasons of Mockingbird. In fact, she was so popular and so good as Mockingbird, she was set to have her own spin-off series as Mockingbird, which was about the time that the big crash on Marvel TV happened, and so that never materialized for her, which is sad, because she was really good at it. But this will be the first time that we're getting a recast from Agents of Shield, right? Which was up until this point. I mean, they wrote themselves out of the MCU in their own series or their time travel stuff, but it was always part of the MCU, right? So now this is if they're going to recast Mockingbird when they already showed her. That's going to further skew this into another, reality or whatever. I don't know what they're doing with it, but I hate to see it, because she was so good. And then this one is probably the least. Well, I don't want to say the least credible. This one is a fact. It's just not a rumor. That the rumor is that sources are saying Keanu Reeves is Kevin Feige's top pick to play Mark Spector, Moon Knight in the Moon Knight series. Now,
that's cool.
What they're coming from is that Feige's got on record as saying he wants somebody like Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves has been in talks with Marvel about something, right? And then the casting call for Mark Spector says a 40 to 50 something year old, right? They basically describing Keanu Reeves. So that one is that's everyone's putting 2 to 2 together. There's not been any announcement on that, although we know Feige likes him,
right?
And he would be awesome as Moon Knight. So,
yeah.
So
especially if you go the more recent stuff where it's like you're not sure if he's crazy or. I mean, he's crazy. He's got multiple personalities.
Yeah.
But you're not sure whether he's actually a superhero or if he's just imagining the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, he's crazy like Batman's crazy. They're both...
he's a little more so.
I don't know. I think Batman's a little more of a sociopath than Mark Spector is. Mark Spector's just crazy. But anyway, I like them both. Crazier the better. So, and Keanu Reeves would do crazy and badass, which is something I would not. If you asked me about this like 20 years ago, yeah, Keanu Reeves is Moon Knight. I'd be like, you're crazy. Really? I'm all. I don't know. But yeah, he's proven to be a major. He can pull this off. Yeah. And the older he gets, I don't know, for some reason, the older he gets, the more badass I believe he is in roles. So,
and the nice thing about this for him is it would be a show that could just go one series, one season, and it could tell a complete story, and then he would be done.
Yep.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need to, you wouldn't need to lock him in for a 4-movie deal or whatever. You just, hey, we want you for an 8-episode series.
Yeah.
And then you could always, like, oh, you got other stuff to do, that's fine. Then 4 years down the line, go, hey, want to do another series, another season of Moon Knight? Sure. And it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't impact the rest of the universe necessarily.
Yeah, that is true. And I think that's what's appealing about some of these Marvel projects that are coming up. They're not having to lock people into 8-movie deals or whatever it was, or 15, whatever Sam Jackson was locked
right.
But yeah, there we have it. A bunch of quasi news from Disney Plus. Actually, some news, some rumors, and then some speculation, all in there. So
some hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams. All right, Doug.
All right.
For the next one.
The unholy alliance of Marvel and Sony. So back, I don't know, this has been 9 months since that whole ordeal with the Marvel-Sony negotiations and Spider-Man?
Yeah.
A while back.
Almost about a year.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, it's been a while, but eventually we renegotiated the rights for Spider-Man to stay in the MCU. But part of that was that there'd be crossovers between MCU characters and put it here, Spunk. I forget what that even stands for.
Sony Picture Universe of Marvel characters.
Yeah.
Spunk. She's like, they're like, DCFU. You can't get any worse than that. Hold my beer. Spunk.
Sony stepped up to the plate. Anyways, they're crossing over between the two would happen. Now it seems Sony really wants the crossovers to happen so that they can boost their movies coming out. First, they want Venom and symbiotes in the MCU, which I wouldn't have minded if there hadn't already been a Marvel movie. I mean, a Sony Venom movie.
Yeah.
So that there wasn't the setup the backwards setup. But anyways, whether this will happen in more of a Spider-Man movie or whatever, we don't know. Just that they want Venom and symbiotes to be in the MCU.
Yeah.
There's also a rumor that they want to use Captain America to set up the stage for the Sinister Six movie, which is kind of weird. But since Steve Rogers is out, they would have to use Sam Wilson if they were going to do that.
Yeah.
Some opportunities that this could lend to would be maybe a Blade and Mobius team up.
Yeah, that would be cool. A little was it Marvel Knights? Or were they called?
Yeah, I mean Marvel Knights was the whole
Ghost Rider, Blade, Morbius.
All of their kind of supernatural characters were in this kind of like quasi little related book series, but
the Half Monster Club.
Yeah, they. I gotta say, I could care less whether that happened or not. I've never been a fan of that character. Is it Mobius or Morbius? I thought it was Morbius. Is it Morbius? Okay. Whatever. I've never cared for that character. He's always seemed kind of goofy to me. So whether or not he crossed over with Blade it really doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, you're just excited about the Captain America and the Sinister Six, right? That's going to be exciting.
Sure. Has there even ever been in a crossover with Captain America and any of those villains?
I'm going to file that in the never going to happen category. Like, Sony can push and get Venom in the next Spider-Man movie or in a Spider-Man movie, right? They can throw their weight around and do, like, we want this, which is good. Technically puts it in the MCU. Whether or not Feige actually lets that into another MCU movie, would all depend on how much control they have over it, I think. But lending them Captain America,
yeah,
I mean, that's, I don't know.
It doesn't even make all that much sense. There are a lot of other routes you could go.
Yeah.
But anyways.
You know how Sony does their movies, right? I mean, we've seen this is like they throw shit at a wall and see what sticks, right? This sounds to me, the whole Captain America idea sounds like them just going around like, all right, we want another character to boost, the Sinister Six movie. We need to get a popular MCU character. What about Iron Man? There's no way you're getting Iron Man. So like, oh, okay. What about Captain America? It's like, oh, well, Steve Rogers retired now, so maybe, wow, hey, now that it's Falcon, maybe we'll get Falcon. So I think this is a request, that kind of thing. I don't think it's not something that's ever going to happen. I don't even know if it's a request. I mean, this could be just something like in Sony's plans, like, all right, this is what we want, kind of thing. Wish list, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't ever see that happening.
Yeah. We'll go on. The really bizarre one. I saw this the other day, and I'm like, "Is this real?" It's been announced that Jamie Foxx will reprise his role as Electro in the new Spider-Man movie. We don't know if it's going to be the same character as was in Amazing Spider-Man 2, or just a new take on it, like J. Jonah Jameson. Same actor, but a new take on the character.
Sure.
I don't know.
Wow.
I was like,
because I could have swore that he got some of the most flack from that movie.
He did. I mean, out of all the good things about that movie, Electro was not one of them. It was. Although a memo came out, a memo from Kevin Feige to Sony, because it's a joint Marvel project thing, right? Back in the day, he had input on it, right? Like, here's what I take on it. So he gave him a bunch of notes, and it recently hit the web. And people were looking over it, like he said Tom, this guy playing Spider-Man was kind of all over the place emotionally.
Oh, Garfield.
Garfield, yeah, Andrew Garfield was like, yeah, he needs to, we're not getting a good take on him. or that. But he did say he liked Electro in those notes. He liked what they're doing with him. Matt says he won't be blue. That's his bet. No, won't be blue. I hope not. I don't.
Well, he also confirmed via Instagram that it's not the.
It's not what.
I think he means that it's not going to be the same character. I think is what he means by that.
Because if it was, it'd lead more credence to the whole multiverse of madness thing, where Doctor Strange messing up the multiverse, or not Doctor Strange, probably Scarlet Witch messing up the multiverse. But yeah. I don't know. I don't. Kirsten, did you ever see those Amazing Spider-Man movies?
Yeah.
Were you a fan?
I was a fan up until I remember watching all the Spider-Man movies and enjoying them until the next series came out, and then I was like, oh, that's my new favorite. Yeah. And going through them, so I can't say I remember much about it, but I was just looking at pictures of Electro, and I vaguely remember seeing him, but beyond that, I have no idea what he did in that movie at all.
Here's the thing. Here's a breakdown of the Spider-Man movies. All you need to know, if you guys haven't watched them, Tobey Maguire makes a great Peter Parker. All right? Yeah. Andrew Garfield makes a better Spider-Man, but not as good as Peter Parker. Tom Holland makes the best of both. When it comes to the first series of Spider-Man 1 was great. Spider-Man 2 is near perfect. Spider-Man 3 is just awful. And then you move into Amazing Spider-Man. And Amazing Spider-Man, the first one, was way better than it had any right to be. Right? After coming in, they're not doing Spider-Man 4. They changed it all around on us. The costume looked a little wonky, but, it was a really good story. The characters were good. And then Amazing Spider-Man 2 went off the rails. And then... we got the MCU Spider-Man, so that's where we're at Spider-Man-wise. I don't know. You agree, Doug?
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah, mostly.
I was not into the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
Was not.
I think it was like more wisecracky, like you've been a better Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire did. Although Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker was a much better.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, Matt says he in the chat says it won't be the same version. So hopefully not. Hopefully it's a different version. I don't. Yeah, just you're such a goofy character, Ned. Even like him turning into Electro when he was like the goofy,
the scientist guy.
Yeah, he's like a janitor, wasn't he? Or was he?
Oh yeah, maybe he was.
Yeah, he was a janitor. Just like fell in the the electric vat. Yeah, it was just bad. So, yeah. So you're a big fan, man, of the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I like the first one. The first one was really good, way better than I expected it to be. The second one was just too much crammed in there. The Rhino was goofy. I didn't like Electro. I didn't even like they tried to rehash the the Harry Osborn bit. But anyway, it's okay. We got a good Spider-Man now. Let's go with that.
Let's keep him, please.
Yes. So don't screw this up. No. Was he a scientist? Okay. There you go. See? I don't even remember. I just remember him falling into like the eel tank and the eel going in his mouth and lighting him up. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just blocking a lot of that movie out for my insanity. I don't know. All right, Kirsten. So go hit us up with what we're going to thirst over next.
Henry Cavill. He's rumored to be in the running for James Bond. He apparently met with the Bond producer, Barbara Broccoli.
Yep.
When asked, he had this to say: "At this stage, it's all up in the air. We'll see what happens. But yes, I would love to play Bond. It would be very, very exciting."
Yeah, so this started off like more of a, wouldn't he be a great Bond kind of thing, just kind of like a random rumor. But then it turned out that he was meeting with Barbara Broccoli, who, if you don't know, the name Broccoli, familiar for anybody into James Bond. her dad was the one that basically negotiated the first rights to James Bond originally back in the day. So yeah, so there's been a Broccoli as a producer for every James Bond movie except for Thunderball, which was the first one that was done outside of that production company. So because they own the rights to the script for Thunderball, the guy who originally wrote it.
Sure.
So I don't know how that translated into being able to call him James Bond, but they did. I don't know. What do you guys think of Henry Cavill as James Bond? Let's start there before we go any further.
I mean, more Henry Cavill, the better. What I have to say.
Based on what we saw of him in Mission Impossible, I would say he could do the action star kind of version of. Bond has gone less the suave super spy and more the action hero.
I think he could pull off suave super spy too. I mean,
he might be able to. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Mission Impossible. He's huge. Mission Impossible. That's probably because he was, playing opposite a midget. But Tom Cruise. But I don't know, man. I'm just trying to picture James Bond this buff, right? Yes, love him in The Witcher, absolutely. Yeah. Here's the thing. I love Henry Cavill. I loved him since back before anyone knew who he was. Back when he was playing, Theseus, right? Back in the day. But I mean, I didn't expect Daniel Craig, James Bond. He was even more bulkier than I pictured James Bond to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now we got he's Henry Cavill's got the best of both worlds, right? He's a bulky action guy and also good looking, suave.
Yeah.
You put him in a suit, he can pull that off. So, I'm down. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see him in that role. I think if it's anything like Mission Impossible, it'll be a really good role for him. And I don't have any concern about him being too buff. You can hide that with the shape of clothing and, the way that you put him in that clothing. So I don't think that's.
They don't need to hide his shape. They just need to stretch it, just barely stretch tucks over those muscles, right? But I agree with Mike in the with Matt in the comments. I should be the next James Bond. So, after quarantine, of course. But yeah, I pull off James Bond. I have to work on my British accent. Because my British accent is more Cockney than Scottish. So, but I don't know. All right. So I think that's 3 thumbs up for Henry Cavill as James Bond. Yeah, I didn't put anything into these rumors until I heard he had a meeting with, Barbara Broccoli, and then I was like, oh, so meeting with the Broccoli's, that means that could mean something. Then when he asked her afterwards, he said I don't know, it's all up in the air. So that sounded kind of coy to me. If that was just an off the cuff comment, I'd be like, okay, that's just him wishing. But having said that after a meeting with a producer, now I'm like,
I mean, it at least shows that they have some interest in it, right? They would be interested in using his name and face for the movie, but it's a question of whether they have someone better for the role or if they're going to go for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think, I got to agree with Kirsten on this one. The more Henry Cavill, the better.
Did you guys watch Enola Holmes?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, that's what's...
I like it.
That's our next point, isn't it? Is our next...
Well, that was part of it. You kind of skipped it, but...
Yeah. What did we think of his role in betraying Sherlock Holmes?
This is one I had a little more of a problem with than James Bond. I thought he was fine, although he is getting criticized for being too sentimental and feeling in that movie.
Sure.
Because Sherlock Holmes is very cold and calculating, right? He doesn't show, emotions like that.
Yeah. I mean, it was, when it comes down to it, neither of the Holmes brothers were portrayed super accurately.
Yeah.
And, it comes from a YA book that where the sister is the main character, and you had to have a good brother and a bad brother, so you had to have some way to differentiate them.
I don't know. How do you feel, Doug? I think they did Mycroft dirty in that movie.
Yeah, I mean,
poor Mycroft, man. I'm like, come on now.
Well, when it comes down to it, he could be like that because his only appearance in Sherlock Holmes is my older and smarter brother.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only time he appears in, the original writing. So, and who knows whether or not.
I don't know. One, I don't think he came across as smarter, and two, he didn't look older.
He definitely acted older, whether he looked older or not.
Yeah, he did act older, yeah.
I think he looked older, too. And they had everybody, he comes across more like the Mycroft from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, where he's the government, he's in the government and he's a little more kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. Stephen Fry's my Mycroft, so.
Yeah.
All right. But so, did you like the movie, Doug? We did a quick little improv.
Reaction. It was very good. Review. I liked it a lot. I thought Bobby, what is it, Millie Bobby Brown?
Yeah.
She was good. Actually, everybody in it was really good. And yes, I do think they did Mycroft dirty, but you had to have somebody in the family be the bad guy, so it was fine in that sense. I was surprised at how good an action, the action with Millie Bobby Brown was.
Yeah.
They say she's a fighter, kind of like Sherlock is. Well, less like Sherlock is more of they portray him as like a boxer more, but she's more like the Robert Downey Jr. version where it's more martial arts like.
Right.
But
I don't know, man. We already established we love Henry Cavill, but a super buff Sherlock Holmes is not really. I don't care how much I close my eyes and pretend that's Sherlock Holmes. I'm like, wow. Why would that guy have to think his way out of anywhere? He's all.
I think without being too. Well, never mind. I don't want to be.
That's a comprehension through pugilism kind of guy right there. It's like, I don't understand it. I'm going to punch it.
I mean, he comes across as he does a very good job of portraying Sherlock when not being the focus of it. Because you see him doing a bunch of stuff, and it's not until later when he explains what he was doing that you're like, oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense as to how he was putting things together. And you thought he was just kind of mindlessly going around.
Yeah.
And I love how they, without getting into specifics, they give Enola, the win on the kind of the stopping the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
But
of course, it's her movie.
Yes, but Sherlock is the one who, he comes and gives them arrest this person, blah blah blah, because of this, and he does it accurately, while she not so much. So they still portray, Sherlock's he's got the brains, but he was just late to the punch.
Sure.
It was good. It was well done. You'll see.
Yeah. So like what? Like
I would recommend watching it.
Every kid was less smart than the one before it. It's like Mycroft got all the brains, and then less for Sherlock, and less for Nola. I'd take like 3 people down from there still. That'd be enough brains for me. I'm good. All right. Let's see here. We have anything else, Kirsten, on there?
Yeah, just the question of will you think that he's going to be a good Bond, but I think we covered that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a problem.
Right. Do we want him back in more Superman movies?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. All right, fair enough. I was going to debate whether or not, well, should we move on from, like, no, never mind. No, do it. Superman. I can't think of a better Superman.
I want him as Spider-Man. So I want him as Superman. I just don't want him as a Zack Snyder Superman.
Yeah.
I want somebody else to do him as a upbeat Superman.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I want to see him in a movie with Chris Hemsworth. Right? Like, if they're ever in a movie together for any reason, with, like, shirts off and oiled up, I might question my heterosexuality at that point.
I don't think that it's physically possible. I think too much in one room would make the world explode.
That's too much. Too much ab power right there. All right. Well, folks, that about does it for our major stories now. But
I'm out. No, I'm just kidding.
Doug's all like, I hate this part. But right now, we know what's coming up, Doug. Yes, that's right, folks. Nerd Nuggets. This is the our smaller stories, our Geek Bites, our Nerd Nuggets, if you will. Just bite-sized stories that go great with a side of dipping sauce.
Of your choosing.
Of your choosing, right? Yeah, we're not gonna push our favorite. Although Polynesian sauce,
barbecue's the best. Let's not fight over it.
You can't go wrong with barbecue, but if you're a Chick-fil-A man, that Polynesian sauce, that's a. All right. So first up, we'll talk about Netflix. They're developing a new Conan the Barbarian series, live action series. Now this has nothing to do with the Conan series that Amazon was developing with Game of Thrones director Miguel Sapochnik, where there hasn't been an update about that project since 2018. So, and the last time we saw a live action Conan at all wasn't back in 2011 with Aquaman himself playing Conan. Yep, Jason Momoa as Conan the Barbarian, which I actually liked. That one, I mean, the story wasn't that great, but the action was pretty good. So, and really, how good a story does a Conan movie need to be? My only problem is I feel at this point that Witcher and Conan are fairly similar, right? I mean, obviously one's, Polish myth and one's like, ancient barbarian kind of thing, but I have a feeling that they're similar type of shows, right? But I think Witcher has a much richer world, that you can write in. I mean, Conan was back in the whole high fantasy days. It was like back when Flash Gordon was our space and Conan was our, our medieval stuff. And I'm like, the stories are pretty, damsel in distressy,
Yeah.
So I think we're, story wise, we need a much, kind of evolved taste wise, and where Witcher's done really well. I think, Conan, if they stick with the adapting original stories, Conan may suffer because of that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't have a lot to say, I didn't really watch Conan the Barbarian. So.
I like the Arnold Conan movies, but they were never like great. They were just like goofy fun.
Yeah.
I think like you said, I think tastes have evolved quite a bit. That the problem with the Conan the Barbarian series is you would need to update the material to kind of come up to the level of sophistication that modern audiences have, but that will upset people who are really like diehard Conan fans. So you're not going to make anybody happy.
Yeah, that's my fear. Way to articulate it, Doug. That's what I was.
No, I have a feeling no one is going to be happy with whatever they come out with.
Yeah.
The people who, like you said, they would rather watch something like Witcher or Vikings or any of the multiple other, that kind of genre of movies. than a Conan series, and then the people who are really like, oh, I love Conan, aren't going to be happy with whatever adaptation they come up with. So
here's what I'll say. I think that like if they go a Dothraki route, like they portrayed the Dothraki in such a cool way, and it would be cool to kind of see something like that come to life. It would be cool to see Conan portrayed Dothraki-esque. I don't know if it'll be a good series, but it would be interesting to see something to that level.
So like a different take on it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. Well, here's the thing. He in the old series, Conan was like everything, right? He was a pirate at one time, right? He was started off as a barbarian, right? He was uneducated barbarian, and then he eventually, became a thief, became a bounty hunter, became a pirate, right? And learned all these skills along the way, and eventually became king, right? Yeah. But so far, we never got out of the barbarian stage of any of the portrayals. Right. So if they went ahead and like Conan the Pirate series, I'd be like, oh, that might be interesting, but not right. Anyway, sorry, spent too much time on a nerd nugget.
All right. Well, in sad news, Disney is going to be laying off 28,000 people in the U.S. as pandemics cripple the theme parks. These will be part-time employees, or most of it, about 67% are part-time employees. The layoffs will affect parks, experiences, and products, as well as we don't have the cruise line is in it as well. And I have a feeling that a majority of those people are probably Disneyland people, because we still don't have a target for opening Disneyland.
Yeah, they won't. Gavin Newsom won't let them open Disneyland, which is just, which I got to hand it to Disney. They kept all these people on furlough with medicals,
they were paying their medical.
Their medical for, all this time since March when everything got shut down, right? So, and they held out as long as they can, hemorrhaging money. I think what it was like the first 2 months, they lost like 91% value. So it was like some crazy number like that. So
yeah, but how much have they made on Disney Plus? Like,
I don't know. I mean, they have been making a lot of Disney Plus. However, the theme parks were always the bulk of.
Yeah, the theme parks make up, I want to say, something in the neighborhood of like 60% of their revenue. It's a big chunk of their revenue. Yeah. It makes way more money than anything.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look it up because I'm really curious now.
Because when you got like places where you can just pack people in at like $300 a day, it's
Oh, okay. It's 41% of their
41%
revenue.
Still a big chunk.
Still a big chunk, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's technically parks, experiences, and consumer products, which is the parks, Adventures by Disney, I believe Cruise Line. No, I think Cruise Line's a separate I don't think it's part of experiences. And then consumer products, but those experiences and consumer products are a very small portion of that 41%. So it's hard to make up when you've lost, well, for several months, 100% of that 41% of your income. Plus, nobody's going and spending money.
Yeah. And Disney World's not that populated.
Yeah, right? It's at 25% capacity, I think.
And they're not filling up that. I mean, that's what they're.
Yeah, that was what they would allow.
Keeping it to. Yeah, and they're not filling that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, however, every one of their parks except for Disneyland is open now.
Yeah.
So, and the ones in Asia seem to be getting more traffic, I think, than any of the other ones.
I will say one good thing. Not that it's a good thing. Nothing good thing about people losing their jobs. That sucks. But one benefit of Disneyland not being open now is that Galaxy's Edge merchandise is now being available online. So
and outside the parks, like you can go to downtown Disney and buy it in the Disney store.
So buying up your kyber crystals for your lightsabers. All right, Kirsten, what do we got next?
The Craft Legacy is set to be released on video on demand before Halloween has released its trailer. The trailer shows us that it's going to be a sequel and not a reboot as originally thought.
Yeah,
and
because all news
I
came
am
out.
excited.
You're a big fan of The Craft?
Oh, I loved that movie as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of what was the actress? The Faruka Baizul or something like that is her name?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. She was awesome. I loved her in, anything she was in.
Yeah.
So I was a big fan of her. So, but yeah, apparently, yeah, we all heard, everyone was kind of like going, Craft Legacy, they're rebooting Craft. How dare you mess with with something so good? But in the trailer, apparently they show Faruka Baizul's character.
Faruka Balk.
Faruka Balk. Faruka.
Hey, where's the Balk?
Balk.
Balk.
Balk. Okay. I don't know what I was thinking of. But yeah, that actress, they show her in this trailer. So it's actual sequel.
Yeah, I actually like The Craft too. Well, that was a good movie.
It was. Boom. Okay. I'm going to give you a 2-for-1 on this one here. First off, both of these are live action replica type toys, all right? Life size replica toys, all right? First one is Hasbro's releasing an epic life size Stormbreaker from Endgame. It lights up, it makes thunder sounds, and it's almost 4 foot long. I mean, it's the same size as Stormbreaker in the movie. It shows a guy holding it. It's huge. It's going to retail for about $159.99, which, when you look at any other replica Stormbreaker out there, life-size replica Stormbreaker, they're all like over $1,000. I mean, granted, this is a toy, but it's life-size. The second thing is that they're coming out with a 6 3/4 inch tall, full-size Skeletor Havoc staff. So, and I'm like, man, I don't know which one I want more. I mean, I want them both, definitely. But they haven't put a price out on the Havoc staff yet. But cause that's even bigger. It's a full-size staff from Skeletor.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Man, I wish I could justify spending $160 on a toy.
Yeah. Like Matt said, shut up and take my money. Yes. We could write it off as expense, Doug. We'll put them in the back here, crisscross them. Stormbreaker and a Havoc staff.
Yeah. I noticed that gets them staying at your house.
Of course. Of course they'll stay here. We'll share them, Doug. We'll have custody of them every other weekend. When I have them, because the neighbors will hear me playing with them in the backyard. Yes. But yes, there you have it. Life-size replica toys.
All right. Next story. Disney is not taking any chances with the pandemic and has pushed off the biannual D23 Expo from next summer to September of 2022, which is very weird because it's going to be happening approximately a month after Star Wars Celebration at the same location. They're both at the Anaheim Convention Center.
Yeah. And they're happening around the DC fandom.
Are they?
So you go like Star Wars Celebration, DC fandom, D23 Expo.
Is DC fandom going to be at that convention center, or
I don't know. Right now, that's just when they're going to have it. They've said whether they're going to, because they were talking about doing it a combination live and online.
Yeah.
So we're not sure exactly what they're going to do with it yet, or they even talked about monetizing it. So I don't know. And a way to monetize it would be to have it a live,
right? Yeah.
Some live version, at least some aspect of it live.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I would like to go to either Star Wars Celebration or D23.
We just take 3 weeks off right there, Doug.
Yeah.
If they're all in the same spot, we're just like
just stay that whole time.
Yeah.
Convention, Disneyland, convention.
Yeah.
Solved.
See, look at that. I'm down with that. That sounds like a
All
plan
right.
to me.
We have to drastically increase our income here.
True. speaking of that, patrons. No,
we're gonna set up a GoFundMe for
yeah, exactly.
For us to live report both of those conventions. You're gonna get tons of insights and stuff. You're gonna get your money's worth.
You're gonna get your money's worth seeing us have a great time at these conventions.
Not selling this very well, bud.
All right, Kirsten, what do we got next?
All right. Netflix reveals Cobra Kai for fourth season. They announced a premiere date for season 3 as January 8th, 2021.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for Cobra Kai. If you guys have not seen Cobra Kai yet, it's something you need to start checking out, like immediately. It is an amazing show. I binged 2 seasons in a weekend and realized that, wow, I just watched, 20 hours of this show. I didn't come up for air. I was like, I don't think I've slept yet. What is going on here? But yeah, it's amazing. And they leave season 2 on a cliffhanger, and then they're finally getting around to season 3 now. It's on Netflix, and now everybody's discovered it because it's on Netflix.
Right.
And they renewed it for season 4. So super excited. And not just because Elizabeth Shue is rumored to be in the next season. So that's just like cherry on top. Matt says put up a video of me playing with the toys in the backyard. Absolutely. If I throw down $300 on toys, I'm going to unboxing and a putting it together video and the whole bit. It's going to be.
This is how he moves. This is how I pose him when he's in this room. This is what I do when I take him outside.
Exactly.
These are the clothing that he wears when we go to the mall together.
Exactly. Put him in my passenger seat and take the carpool lane. All right, Kirsten, I think we got enough time for Weeb World. What about that?
Woo! All right.
Weeb World.
Life-size, fully automated mobile Gundam suit passed its final tests and will be open to the public this winter.
Did you guys watch that?
Yeah, I did.
It kind of like bowing or kneeling or something like that.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
It looks awesome.
I don't know how much it costs to ride in the cockpit of that thing, but I'm like, it's worth it. It's worth
Take my money. Take my money.
Whatever it is, it's worth it. That's how much it costs.
Next is Akira manga. We'll see its 100th reprinting this month. New special edition of printing will be 1,500 yen, which is more or less $15. 14.25 is the exact. Akira first debuted in 1982.
Wow,
So.
how popular does a comic have to be to get 100 reprintings of it?
I mean, it's good. Have you seen it? It's good.
I've seen it, read it. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever read it. I've only seen it.
Well, now you'll be able to for $15.
You know how messed up the movie is, Doug?
Yeah.
Check out the manga. That's all I gotta say.
And then finally, Netflix live-action Cowboy Bebop is resuming production this week, which, hell yeah.
Yeah. This is one of those things where I love Cowboy Bebop so much that I want this so bad, yet I look at Netflix's track record with, anime to live action.
I mean, not even Netflix. Let's just say, like, live action in general has been pretty spotty as far as anime live action, so.
That's true. But fingers crossed, though. I mean, this is one of those that I'm like, oh.
I think it has the potential, but I am waiting with bated breath. I don't know if it's going to be great, but I want it to be.
Yes, absolutely. All right, folks. There you have it. Your weekly wrap-up of nerd news brought to you live by 3 nerds on the internet. That's what we do for you. I want to let everybody know that I have there's new merch that'll be live tomorrow in our Teespring store. You want to check out some of our new shirts we got out there. We got some new designs. We got some quotes on there from some of our listeners. That are only the best ones. Yeah, they're pretty good. We just got the final artwork done on them, so They'll be up live tomorrow morning. If they want to support us otherwise, there's a couple links down below. Doug will tell you all about the main one. But first, I want to touch on our patrons real quick before we go. You guys are amazing. I just want a special shout out to you guys because you've been supporting us through this pandemic when, really didn't have to. We didn't expect it, right? We expected to go down to pretty much nothing with the and this, but you guys have been amazing. We appreciate every single one of you. So, and you're the reason we do what we do here. So, thank you. Yes. But the easiest way to support us, besides liking, subscribing, and sharing with your friends, checking us out on YouTube, downloading our podcast, giving us a 5-star review, would be what, Doug?
Your easiest next to all of those. In the description down below should be a link to our Amazon affiliate link. If you click on that, whatever it goes to, you don't have to buy that. Do your regular Amazon shopping after you click the link. As long as you do it within 24 hours, we'll get a small kickback from Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it definitely supports the channel. You guys have been using that link a lot more, probably because we're all at home having to shop on Amazon, so we can't go anywhere. But yeah, it's been very helpful.
We appreciate it, guys. And make sure, like Matt says, make sure to check out the Absolute Geek podcast coming up here at 7:30. We're the warm up for Friday night, and they take you deep into the night as they, ramble on about all things geeky as well. So be sure to check those out, our brothers from another podcast. All right, guys, we'll be back again next week with another weekly wrap up of nerd news. So we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.